I'll tell you, I've been seeing pictures of everybody breaking up their gardens and everybody getting the seeds in the ground. And then I looked at the weather forecast today and I was like, uh-oh, because we got 36 is going to be the low tomorrow night.
Yeah, definitely timed if you've put out some tomato plants to cover those.
That's my luck right there. Right there. All of them look, just wonderful and beautiful, and those tender little plants just look the perfect shade of green. And frost comes out of the middle of nowhere. It's from 80 to 36. That would be my luck right there.
Folks always need to remember, we usually have a frost around the 20th of April.
Do we really? I didn't know that.
How often have we had a real cold snap around the 20th of April? We've had some wheat damage in years and fruit tree damage. So just because it's spring in Kentucky doesn't necessarily mean it's going to stay that way.
Well, that's I never really paid attention to that, but you're right. You're absolutely right.
Well, we do have lots of things that's going and lots of considerations. We are living in a different time with this virus that's going around, and a topic that I have had a few calls on that I thought we would visit on this morning is pest control.
Yes. Yes.
So the pests that we deal with here in Kentucky do not know that this is going on, so we could still possibly have trouble. And
well, do you think a mild winter made them worse this year, you think, already? I'm seeing more and more.
It's possible, and, mild winter definitely, and then just higher populations. People are outside, there's urban expansion.
Right.
We are in the middle of their territory wherever we're at. And the calls that I get, I like to kind of bring those forth on the radio because other folks are probably having those same trouble.
Oh, I guarantee
it. And if you are having some pest control problems during this time, we have some suggestions for you. Is it necessary to continue a pest control service during this time? Every situation is definitely unique, and it's not a simple answer to this question. It is recommended that customers discuss specific factors with their pest control company, such as a pest problem that they're facing or what risk there is if they delay a treatment. Some pest control companies are not doing anything right now because they don't want to be around the exposure as well. And here's where we can help is, can this pest be diagnosed remotely? Tess, we have done so much remote programming the last couple of weeks that I think that may be the new norm going forward. That we are going to have more things done remotely, and due to the need of recommendations with the social distancing, we are here. We have access to equipment for remote diagnosis of some things. So, texting or emailing pictures to me about the damage, we can help with that. Can exterior or perimeter treatment be performed where they do not have to go inside? That's definitely a consideration. And can the service be discussed prior to arrival? So if you kind of know what's going on and can give that company a heads up, here's where the problem is, here's what I'm dealing with, where they can show up, do what they need to do, and be gone. And notify the company of any signs of illness. If you are experiencing some kind of pest control problem and you are experiencing some health issues, that company definitely needs to know that. And by discussing these with them, they can, get a protocol that will help them, that will help you. But the main thing for this morning, Tess, is that Extension is here. We are still diagnosing these things. We are still taking samples there. We have a box out front of the office to drop any samples in for soil samples, insect ID. There's bags to put plants in. And most importantly, during this time, call me at 270-625-4653, and we can help diagnose those problems.
I'm so excited because I will tell you, I know a lot of the farms around here has taken some of the time at home that they might not normally have to add on to what they already have. Maybe their roadside stand, they're adding on to that. Maybe their greenhouse suddenly got bigger, or they used the time to expand on their high tunnels this year. And I'll tell you, I'm seeing a lot of expansion and growth, and our farmers are just doing fantastic.
Well, and the farmers markets are, according to governor's recommendations, are allowed to proceed this year, minus any crafts and things. It's only will be produce items, no prepackaged foods, no breads and things like that. But if we're selling produce, the last notice that we got from Extension was that those are going to be allowed to go on. So hopefully farmers market can be up and going before long, because folks have stuff in those high tunnels and in those greenhouses. And like we said, folks are planting gardens now, so it won't be long before we'll be seeing stuff.
What's the first thing you plant at your house every year?
The first thing I plant is corn, and I have not planted yet. I'm waiting till this last bit of weather gets gone. The garden is ready, one last till, and then it will go in.
Well, the plow got out at Papa's house yesterday, so I think everybody's getting the plows and the tillers and all of that stuff out and doing that. And I'll tell you, it's my favorite time of year is to watch everything. It's like everything comes alive, but it's also copperhead baby season right now.
That is true, and we've already experienced that on our farm. Kids have had a lot of time to be on the farm running around, and we've already experienced that. So they are out there, and I have had a couple of calls also on snake identification. There is a great website. I think we've talked about this on the station before about IDing those. Also with pictures, I can help identify those if folks need that. So identify, don't kill.
Well, they can be helpful, too. I mean, there are some species that if they're not poisonous, they can really get rid of. Now that goes back to the pest control, because they can actually be really good pest control agents for you at your farm and your house, right?
That's exactly right. And 95% of the snakes that we are going to encounter are beneficial and are not going to hurt anything except scare you to death.
Well, no, when I was growing up, and my mother and my father will kill me right now for telling this, but when I was a kid, we used to have one that would hang out, and it was a chicken snake that would hang out in the rafters of our crib. And it was there year after year after year, this snake, and it might not have been the same one, but it looked identical, and he never moved. But he would be right there in the rafters, and you would see him moving around, and sometimes when you go in, he'd be laying over in the middle of the corn, but you would see him. And it didn't bother us. As long as we wouldn't bother him, he didn't bother us. And it was great. And he was there forever. And he kept a lot of the pest out of the corn.
That's correct. They do have their place, and every animal does. Even those that are dangerous, can be dangerous to us, they have their place in the ecosystem. But sometimes we collide violently with those creatures, and folks' main thing is fear, and that's their first thing, is kill it, get it out of the way. But we all always recommend ID, don't kill.
Well, and don't get me wrong, the one I found in the strawberry patch last year, now he and I were not buddies. And he was not poisonous, but I didn't like him as well as the one I could see. As long as I can see him, I'm good. It's the ones I don't see that scare me half to death. So as far as our animals, if we see a bite, we can just go online and all of that good stuff and call our vet? Or what's the first rule of thumb? Like if our dog comes up and he's gotten bit of some kind, you just call your vet, right?
Yes, that is definitely a veterinarian thing. Most time dogs do not have that bad a problem. I have seen several that have been bitten, and horses as well. This time of year, horses are out there grazing. 9 times out of 10, it's not a life-threatening thing for them. But definitely consult your vet with anything that you think is that. That's definitely their territory.
Well, and I saw, a lot of the homemade fly sprays are coming out, a lot of the homemade, remedies, like if they get bit by a snake, give them this, give them that. Just call the vet and ask him. That's
what they're there for.
Dr. Luna will tell you exactly what to give him or not to give him, and that's a good thing, because I can't ever remember from year to year, and he can. That's his job. And as far as your job, now the soil samples and all that good stuff, that you make sure they know how to get a hold of you, Mr. Shane Bogel.
That is right, and there's soil bags in that black box. Just drop those soil tests off. We worry about billing later, and we'll get them in as fast. The turnaround at the lab is still just 2 or 3 days. So bring your soil tests in. They're getting logged in and taken care of every day.
Well, and I know people will say, you know what, I don't want to mess with all them tests. And, a lot of things, going back and forth and wasting gas, money and everything. Soil tests can save you money in the long run.
That's right.
Because you don't have to buy as much fertilizer when you know what you need and what you don't need. And maybe you don't need anything at all.
And a lot of gardens in Kentucky, we've talked about this before, have been over-fertilized over the years, and about 9 out of 10 that we'll get a soil sample for are very high in phosphorus and potassium. They're having problems and issues with the plants in their garden. They don't know why. That is usually the reason. Is every year they put triple 30 or triple 10 on it, and they just overloaded the soil, because garden plants pull off just a certain amount of nutrients to grow, and most of the time we put on way too much. So this soil testing kit this gardening kit that we're going to be putting together next week will be, please, one per family. They will be limited. We could not believe the response to these grab bags. So there will be plenty of information in there about these topics. And, of course, if there's questions, you call us.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Shane Bogel from the Caldwell County Extension Office. And give them that phone number again.
Well, right now, you can call the Extension office at 365-2787, or my cell phone. I'm fielding the calls for the office and directing those to the agents and to Joni as they come, 270-625-4653.
Well, thank you so much. Stay healthy, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Have a great one. Of course, Mr. Shane Bogel from the Caldwell County Extension Office. We can't thank them enough for what they do. The group of people out there are just wonderful, and they've got your back. And if you've got any questions about anything, don't just guess at it. Go ahead and give them a call, and I promise you they'll help you out the best you can. Stick around. We've got Jim King up next.
This is Mallory Hancock Lawrence, and we love our Caldwell and Lyon County friends. We invite you to come to Cada's anytime you can to shop with us. We're making it even easier for you. Whether you work in Cada's or just come to town for a visit, stop in and shop with us. But if you're in a hurry, you can pre-order your groceries at Hancock'sNeighborhoodMarket.com. It's so easy and convenient. Of course, we want to see your smiling face anytime we can, but if you're in a hurry, Hancock'sNeighborhoodMarket.com is the way to go. Hancock's Neighborhood Market, Cada's.
And here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast for today. Looks like cloudy, and it looks like, if you're in Princeton right now, it looks like it could just rain any minute. I'm not going to, I don't know where to go with that, but it does look like it could rain any minute. High 81. Tonight, showers and thunderstorms overnight. Now, that cold front is going to come through by midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. Should be out of here completely by 2 o'clock. But when it brings through, what it could bring is hail and some wind gust and some pretty heavy thunderstorms. So make sure you keep your ear to the WPKY, and we'll keep you updated. Low 48. Now, tomorrow, partly sunny, high 59. Tomorrow's low, tomorrow night, is going to go all the way down to 36. So as Shane said, if you've got some tender little plants that you're putting out, you need to pay close attention to those tomorrow night. Friday, sunshine, high 56. It is 69 at 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Treasures Remembered.
1580, 103.3 WPKY, and we're live on Coffee Talk with Pro Collision. Good morning, Mr. Jim.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
Well, I'll tell you, I did a little background digging about you. And because I know you've been in the area for a while, right? It's 35 years. Is that how long?
Will be this August.
My goodness. Even the different types of vehicles that have changed in 35 years.
Yes, we have worked on several.
Well, and computers. I didn't even think about that till just now, but I bet even the computer systems inside cars, and that's really changed everything, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
Well, how did you get started? At what time did you say, you know what, I think I want to work on cars? Is it something that you've just always liked since you were a kid, or?
Yes, I got started, and I wanted to learn the business, so I got me a job learning. And then I went from Princeton to northern Indiana, and then come back here, bought my house. And it's just been from then on. I've been doing it over 47 years.
Oh, wow. Well, I think you probably got a good thing going. I think you know what you're doing.
Yes. we appreciate our customers, and their confidence in us has really went a long way.
Well, and I was talking to Cindy the other day, and I said, I believe that your family is such a testament to, hanging in there when the going went bad, when things weren't necessarily hunky-dory constantly, and roses and balloons, but you've always seemed to stick in there. It's where you buckle down and, put your bootstraps on and you just hang on. How do you do that?
Yeah.
How do you get in the frame of mind that says, you know what, I'm not giving up, I'm going to hang in there?
Well, it's got to be in you, because, I've had good times and I've had bad times, but all you can do is hang in and just keep it rolling and take care of your customers. That's the main thing.
Well, and you guys have always been really community-minded. I think anytime anybody asks over the years, how many T-shirts from schools and ball games and graduations do you think you've been on?
Several.
I bet there's a few I wish I knew that now. I want to know how many years of graduation T-shirts and softball teams and little league basketball teams that you've sponsored over the years. There's no telling.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Well, and I would, the other thing I do want to say hi to Leah Gupton. Of course, you talk about the lady that answers the phone that helps you out and does it all with a smile on her face. Now, Leah is amazing. And, I had heard that this may not be the first time that your family has ever had to deal with, any kind of an illness of some sort.
Well, this is the worst that I've ever had to deal with, because it's nationwide, and, we're just trying to let everybody know that we're doing our best.
Right.
But we don't know what's to come, and it's a worry on everybody.
Well, and is it your customers? I mean, that with you knowing them and then knowing their parents as well, and does that make a difference?
It does. I've made a lot of friends over the years, and I always tell my customers that you are my friend, and I'm going to take care of you.
Well, and
so,
now I had heard that at one time, of course, everybody goes through ups and downs, I think. And, the community, this isn't the first time that we've ever struggled through some things, and we struggle through it together.
Mm-hmm.
I know that your wife was ill at one time. And, how did you get through that? For somebody that's at home thinking, how in the world am I going to, is it prayer? Is it support from those friends? Is it, what is the one thing? Is there one thing, or is it just a lot put together?
I think lots of things. I had a bad year last year. I was really sick. I was able to come to the shop, but that was about it. And I had breathing problem on my heart. But with all the prayers that the churches did for me and all my friends, I got through it. And now I'm back to normal.
Well, and you're not a young chicken. I'm going to tattle on you. You're 65, right?
Yeah, 66 here in about 4 days.
But that's not old either, doggone it, now.
No.
You're not that much older than me. Well, and I'll tell you, but I think that that's inspirational, because you get up and you go to work every day, and you do it because you love it, and you do it because you love the community.
Yes. The community is my business, because, they're what keeps us here. And I appreciate every one of them.
Well, and of course, Jim King from Pro Collision. Now, your business is right here on 62 West, right?
Yes.
And make sure that everybody, I don't know how in the world they don't know what Pro Collision does, because they're amazing and have been for 35 years. But what is it that you all specialize in, and what do you do?
We do collision repair. And, of course, we will do, if somebody has a window down that's a problem, we will take care of that. And all that you have to do is call us and just ask us if we can take care of a problem like that, and we'll schedule in and get it fixed.
Well, and I'll tell you that number, by the way, 365-2634, 62 West right here in Princeton. You talk to Leah and she'll get you hooked up. And this guy right here, Jim, is the one that's actually working on stuff. And he's got how many years experience doing this now?
47 years.
Wow. And I'm one of those people that really believes that experience means something.
Yes, it does. You got to have pride in your work to do this work. And there's a lot of good people in this area doing this kind of work. And, we're not the only ones taking care of people. There's other shops around and they do good work. And that's all we plan to do is just take care of our customers.
Well, when you mention that, bless your heart, I think that's another good point, though. There is other places, but you all work together as a community. It doesn't have to be you against me. It can be us, and
that's right.
I think that's an important lesson over the years. I think that's the ones when you look around Princeton. Of course, our 70th birthday was just the other day, and we were all talking about, how many businesses were there with us in the beginning, and they're still there with us now in the community 70 years later. And there was a lot more than what you think. And I think that's the reason why they've stood the test of time and they're still there, is because they do work with one another as a community.
Yes, we do. And I wanted to say that we're trying to do a new thing now with everybody afraid of this coronavirus. We have got a new photo link on our estimating system.
Oh.
Where that if you have an accident, your car is still drivable, but you don't want to get out, then you can call us. We can send a link to your phone, and you can take pictures, and we can do the estimate from our office to where that you don't even have to come to the shop.
Wow.
And also, we're working with the wrecker companies, and the main thing is just give us a call, and we can help.
Well, and you're being creative about it, too. I think, that's being able to change with the times and bend a little bit can probably help.
Oh, yes. Yeah, because we know right now a lot of people are scared to death. It's scary for us because, we don't know what's going to happen. And we're hoping that we can keep our shop open, but even if that happens, we've got all this electronic. And all you got to do is call us, and we'll take it from there.
All right. Well, Jim, bless your heart. I think you're an inspiration. And, if you could tell everybody one thing, to help them get through all this mess or to think about it a little bit differently, what would it be?
Trust in God. That is the main thing. Because at this time, it's very uncertain what's happening, and just pray. Pray that we'll get through it good, and I know we will. It's just a matter of time.
Well, bless your heart. That sums it up completely right there, and I guarantee you that's why Pro Collision has been there all these years, and I really believe that they're going to be there for a long time.
Yes.
Mr. Jim, we sure do appreciate you hanging out with us this morning. You do it again sometime, okay?
Thank you so much.
Have a great one. And tell Leah we said hi.
I will. Leah is probably going to be listening and doing a fine job. She's going to be the one taking the phone calls.
Well, that's a good thing. I'll tell you, I told her the other day, I said, before I was trying to find a day when Jim was available to talk to me. And I said, you know what? I'm going to ask you first because I know the deal. There's a lady in there somewhere that knows what your schedule is. So you tell me ahead of time when he's available.
Yeah, she does very good. And I am really blessed to have her here.
Well, thank you so much. You have a fantastic weekend.
Okay, you too.
Clarksville's Bridgestone Metalfa is a great place to work, but don't take my word for it.
I'm Tyrone. I'm with Bridgestone Metalfa. I've been at Bridgestone for a total of 17 years. The reason I'm still there is dependable income, opportunities for overtime, awesome bonuses, excellent benefits, and a great working environment.
If you'd like to start a career at Bridgestone Metalfa, visit our website at metalfausa.com.
Kentucky barbecue. There's nothing like it. You'll be glad to know that Noth's Barbecue in Grand Rivers is open for carryout. It's been a long time since you've been able to get that pulled pork from tender whole shoulders, cooked for 12 hours straight, the old-time traditional way. So you better call ahead, reserve your order, and drive on over to Noth's. When you get there, one of the servers will come out and greet you. Noth's Barbecue, where they've been pigging out for over 50 years.
And here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast for today. Cloudy. Well, actually, it looks like it could rain any second. High 81. Tonight, showers and thunderstorms overnight. That cold front's going to drop down and bring with it a chance of some storms. About 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning is when it should be all cleared up. Some of those storms could be severe. Low 48. Now, tomorrow, partly sunny. High 49. Tomorrow's overnight low is going to dip all the way down to 36. So watch those tender little plants you just got through putting in the ground. On Friday, sunshine to kick off our weekend, high 56. And then on Saturday, chance of showers, high 61. It is 70 at 8:50, 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Health First Community Health Center.
Well, 1580, 103.3 WPKY. It is 8:50 on Coffee Talk. And with us this morning, again, Bradley Hudson. Good morning.
Good morning. It's actually Barkley.
Barkley. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
I think I've wrote your name 12 times, and then I said it wrong.
You're fine.
You're a State Farm agent, right?
I am, yes.
And your name's not Jay. How'd that happen?
It's not. No, I don't. Lucky me, right?
Okay, tell the truth. How many times has people just started calling you Jay?
It's probably, I get that once a week. I'll get a text or someone will, on Facebook, they'll tag me in a post or something.
What are you wearing, Jake from State Farm? That's one of my favorite commercials. I love that.
Yeah, I get that all the time.
I bet. I was cruising through social media like all of us do here lately, and I'm one of those people that usually jump over the bad news stuff. I cruise through there pretty fast, and I found something that you had posted, and you made an extraordinarily generous offer. And I do mean very generous, by the way, and as a parent, I appreciate that. You made an offer for these kids that are doing NTI and their lessons at home. And you know what? I'm one of those parents. We do packets because we don't have the option of the internet and all of that stuff where I live out in the boonies. And, sometimes we may not have all the printers and the luxuries that you necessarily have at an office or even a business setting. And what did you offer to do?
We offered to print off those packets for any family that doesn't have access to a printer and then deliver them to their front door. Just something we wanted to do. I'll be the first to tell you this wasn't my original idea. I'm blessed to have a network of other agents that I speak with and listen to, and other agents have done it, and I thought that would be a great thing to do in the communities I serve.
I'm going to tell you what, just printing it off is very generous. And most parents would you're going to have a lot of hugs waiting when this whole thing is over with, and we can hug your neck for it. But, it's now you go out of your way and deliver it too.
Yes, absolutely.
And what made you, how did that occur to you to add that in the mix?
I mean, we're
not a small county, Mr. Hudson. We're spread out.
Right. We're blessed right now to have access to a printer and a lot of paper and a lot of ink at my office, and it's just something that we can do, a small thing that we can do, and it's easier for one of us to get out and deliver that to someone at their convenience. It's just something we we thought would be a good idea and wanted to offer. And we've had a handful of packets delivered already. It's been great.
I'm going to tell you what, that's, and I know some people's, I know that you probably don't feel like it's as big of a hero type of thing to some people, but to some of us, it really is. Because, as mamas and daddies, we try so hard to make sure that the kids have what they need. And, some of these things are just a luxury, especially at a time like this. And for you to do that and to go out of your way and to take it to us and to make sure that the kids have it and to help them with what is already a difficult situation, man, we can't thank you enough.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot.
I mean, we do. We appreciate that. That's, when we talk about going out on the front lines, that's what I'm talking about right there. And, Miss Beth, our Miss Beth Mann, God bless her, started an initiative called #SupportLocal. And now that's Barkley Hudson right there, State Farm. I mean, you are local.
Right, absolutely. And, that's one of the main reasons that I got into this business was to help the communities I grew up in. And that was just something that came up that we could do during a difficult time, to say the least. So we're still here. We're still printing them off for anybody that needs them. So don't hesitate to call or email or just whatever's convenient. We can print that off for you.
Well, and I'm gonna give you a little plug here too, or a lot of plug, because I think you deserve it personally. But you guys are the one thing I really like about it. And see, I called him this morning and he answered the phone, and it's not an operator, and I didn't have to push 25 numbers to get another operator that would end up telling me to call back later. And it's how you get to talk to a person. You get to talk to, Barkley Hudson. And, if you need the help with the homework, he'll bring the paper to you.
Right, absolutely. Yeah,
I mean, if you're going to trust an insurance company to do something, that's the guy you trust, right?
Right. I always like to tell people, and I'm not the only, locally owned and operated insurance business in town. I feel like whenever tough times hit, such as these, it's important to have a local office with a local staff to reach out to that can help and that can go out of their way, even when it's not during normal business hours. I think that's important, especially right now.
Well, and I think that, we talk a lot about that, or at least we try to, because I think that's something that's important to us, especially as a community. I think it helps get things done. I think we get through things a little better and a little easier than some folks do and some areas do, because we are pretty tight-knit. And it's because, when you look down the pew, the insurance agent is the guy down the pew from you.
Right.
Or it's the guy in line at the grocery store that looks at you and says, "How's your mom and them?" Mm-hmm. And I think that says a lot, and we appreciate it very much what you're doing, and we sure do wish you all the luck in the world.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
And how long you been doing it?
My 1 year anniversary is going to be May 1st since we opened.
Oh, yeah. We need to have a party as soon as this thing is over.
We do. We need to have a non-social distancing party when that time comes.
Right.
Let's hope it's soon.
I think we contact Kathy and say, let's make a cake like you wouldn't believe, and let's have a party.
Right. Well, and State Farm has been in Princeton for, over 50 years.
Right.
I just took over for the retiring agent on May 1st.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, we sure do thank you for all you're doing. And if there's a way for the kids to get a hold of you, and, if there's a mama and daddy that say, you know what, Barkley, I'm going to take you up on it, bud. How do they get a hold of you?
Our telephone number is 270-365-7521. And we are here Monday through Friday, 8 to 5.
Well, I will tell you, he's also on social media, and you can send him a post or tell him thank you yourself on there. I sure would like that. #SupportLocal, and that Jake from Barkley Hudson from State Farm, him and his khakis are on Coffee Talk this morning.
That's right.
We sure do. Thank you so much again, and have a great week.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I love that. Barkley Hudson from State Farm. And, of course, he is helping the kids, not because he has to, but not because anybody told him he had to, but because he wants to. And that's the kind of people that I like, neighbors helping neighbors. Anyway, tomorrow is going to be Mr. Todd Griffin. So don't forget to tune in because Sideline Report, of course, is tomorrow. And I'll tell you, he was telling us just a little bit ago about how he's going to have Tori Hammond on. And, of course, Caldwell County basketball coach Chuck Mitchell is going to be here as well. So make sure you tune in for it. I promise you it'll be a hoot. It always is. And we'll have a good time with it. Be kind to one another. If you need something as far as if you're looking for information, make sure that you visit our website, WPKY Online. If you need an email, if you want to send us your birthdays, your anniversaries, WPKYonline@gmail.com. And don't forget, your kids need to do the pledge today for us. They can leave that on our answering machine, 270-963-9155. Of course, Audrey Lamb's going to be in just a bit with news, and she'll get you caught up on everything. 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Celebrating 70 years of community service. We're 1580, 103.3 WPKY Princeton.
Christian Care Center of Catawba announces Jita Shabda, their new medical director, and that they now have on-site physicians.